have to have
clinical trials.
You have to have enough subjects to make the results statistically significant before you start giving the entire public
Right.
a vaccine.
I made a mistake, and that'd be a bummer.
It doesn't work that way. You can't do that.
And you can't get anything started in the United States because there's so many rules and regulations and hurdles and tests and studies and.
Yeah, but they're
a lot of people launch product foreign because it's easier.
The rules are based on evidence-based medicine about what is safe and what works, as opposed to what you think is safe and hope works.
Right.
We can't afford to have a medical community drawn from the hip,
Right.
You have to do it carefully and scientifically, and it has to be.
And if we're lucky, we might get it in 18 months. Is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Because it's not easy, and the studies have to be, blinded, and you have to have people that you're not giving it to.
So they're spinning a way too optimistic story from the White House.
Right. I mean, you leave all the armamentarium of medicine in place, and then add something, and see if those people do better than the people who didn't have it added. And it takes a lot of people to make.
Well, imagine every country, every university. India came up with some stuff. Technology that I released some information about that. But every country is fighting this right now. I imagine. All the scientists.
Yeah, but the experts raised the alarm a full month before there was any mention of it.
Again, it's all everyone's thinking about the past, who to blame. It didn't happen. Now we have to figure out. Sequester everyone, stay in your homes, enjoy your families. I think it's going to bring communities together, the country together. Hopefully brings the world together. And people like Robert with information, I'd like to share that with everybody because I learned something today, and I hope you did too, especially about the 1918 pandemic.
And as a point of hope, those people who, that 80% that gets the mild case, that's our protection against the future. So those people may well develop immunity and blunt a second episode.
That's good news to hear.
Yeah, so that's a hopeful thing. But right now, the entire population is vulnerable. And that's the scary part.
Social distancing, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Don't panic. Don't live in fear. Don't stress. We got through many pandemics in the past. We'll get through many more in the future. But I think we're going to learn something big time about this. Because I think it's greed that really caused this one. Because the wet markets are all about greed.
Oh yeah.
The deforestation and killing all the wild animals that are coming into our existence that weren't supposed to be, with us. Is greed.
All true.
And so if you've ever watched my animation that precedes a lot of my videos, it says we live in a greedy, selfish, litigious society. Watch Dark Waters. It's so provable. It's not even funny how much greed there is out there. And again, the senators that sold their stock off because they got the equivalent of insider information about the coronavirus. They made millions of dollars. That helped spread the panic as well. Thank you, senators, for your greed. We're a greedy species, but we got to keep it in check.
The irony is that it wouldn't qualify as insider trading, but it's not ethical. And the reason the opinion of Congress is so low in the populace is because you can't trust people with that kind of power and that kind of knowledge to always be ethical
and do the right thing. It's like I always have a list of what fantastic people are. By the way, how are you, Robert?
Fantastic.
He's fantastic. Fantastic people delete the word good from their vocabulary. And first and foremost, they're kind people. That's the four-letter word that I like. They're considerate, they're friendly, they're polite, they're generous, they're courteous, they're civil. We need to be civil again. There's no civility. And this shows the uncivility of it.
And it starts with Congress and the president.
Now, let me ask you a question. When the president becomes elected, he can't profit from being president, so somebody else takes care of all his investments. He's still profiting somehow. Every president does the same way. Well, why isn't that the same thing with anybody in government? They should be the same protocol that the president, because they're still going to profit like this example here.
Well, it's a matter of self governance of ethics, and they are not really hard on themselves.
Greedy, selfish, and litigious. That's what I say every day.
Well, you know, the guys sold all the stocks, but then they released the information later.
Yeah, of course.
So they release their
It's
stock. They
totally unethical.
They sell their stocks while it's still high, and then they release the news that makes the rest of the market tank, and the market tanked.
Then they buy when
It wasn't individual stock problems. It's that we have a consumer-driven society. 70% of the economic activity is by consumers. We keep consumers out of stores, out of airplanes, out of boats, and all of a sudden the economic activity of the country comes to a grinding halt, and that's why the stock market went down.
Yeah.
And it'll come back.
Always does.
Always
Don't
does.
sell while it's low, everybody, because you lose money when that happens. We're in it for the long haul. Don't panic. Ride it out. But more importantly, I'm going to close this interview off. We've been talking to Robert for 30 minutes now. It's fantastic. Thank you, Robert, for your time. Everybody, my road trip and my radio show is brought to you by Via Drinks. They're proactive hydration. These are some caffeinated drinks. The other ones they're all delicious, very low calories. It's a fantastic drink, and I love them as a sponsor. We also have the app, Be Fantastic. It's got some fantastic products and services on it. Because as Dr. Fantastic, I'm not going to endorse anything that's just good or even great. It has to be fantastic. And I do have some fantastic products, services, and I have 208, I believe now, fantastic ambassadors of positivity. I encourage you to join the movement. All you have to do is stop saying the word good and be kind and be civil. And that's not too much to ask, hopefully. Send me your email to Dr. Fantastic at Be Fantastic Today. We'll list you. We're coming out with a page called Meet Our Ambassadors, because for those ambassadors that are supporting the movement, I want to support their passion, their company, their product, or whatever they want, or nothing at all. But we're building the page where they could update it with their picture, their bio, what they're into. Everybody, thanks for watching. Robert, thank you for joining.
Pleasure.
And everyone, be fantastic.